Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mabel, and if today is your first time of tuning in on my channel, you are highly welcome. And to all my returning subscribers, I am so glad you came back to watch. A warm welcome to you. Thank you. Today I share with you how I make my rice and beans plus fish stew. If you want to see how I make it, keep watching. Don't forget to click the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed. Also, turn on your bell notification so as to get notified each time I upload a new video. Thank you. To begin, it all started by going to the market to get some things that I needed. And as you can see, I'm trying to price the tomatoes. Tomatoes is quite expensive, but now I think it's getting better. So I got some tomatoes, and I also buy some sweet chili peppers. Next, I went to my Malam customer where I get the green bell peppers and some garlic cloves. By the time I got home, the kitchen, the sink was all messed up with plates, pots. My children didn't wash anything, they just left everything for me. So I'll start by washing the plates, the pot, and cleaning everywhere before cooking. This is the peppers I got from the market. I actually got these tomatoes for 600 naira, and it's quite okay. It's better now because some weeks ago these tomatoes will actually cost you 3,000 naira to 4,000 naira. So it's getting more better. And I got these peppers for 1,000 naira. All the peppers in the basket, I have 2 green bell peppers, some red bell peppers, sweet chili, and some scotch bonnet peppers. And I'm also trying to equate the balance of the tomatoes with the peppers. I don't want it to be too sweet or too watery because these tomatoes has a lot of water in it. That is why I tried to combine the two to be of the same equation. Next, I remove all the seed from the peppers and I'm going to wash them. Always make sure you wash your tomatoes and peppers in salty water because you don't know where it might have been. Look at the environment where I buy the tomatoes. That is why you have to make sure you wash it pretty well and you make sure it is washed in salted water. After washing the tomatoes and the peppers, I'm trying to cut the tomatoes open to see if there are no obstacles inside the tomatoes because there have been so many instances where I found some maggots growing inside the tomatoes and I still wonder how they got there. Now that everything has been done, I have the peppers here nicely washed and cut. I also have the onions, I have the tomatoes, and over here I have some garlic cloves and a ginger. Right now I will start to blend everything together. And once all that is done, I'm going to pour it into a pot and place it on the fire to start boiling. Next, I'll go ahead to wash my fish. I'm using HAKE fish. You can actually use any fish of your choice, but today I decided to use HAKE fish. This is also known to be the kpala fish, the bigger ones. I'll wash it and I'm still going to use a lemon to wash the fish. You all know I just like to use lemon to wash my fish. It eradicates the fish smell That is why I always use lemon in washing my fish. Next, I'll still go ahead to add some salt to it to make sure it is properly clean and it is disinfected. Once that is done, I'll go ahead to season my fish. I'll be adding a little bit of salt, some all-purpose seasoning. Combine everything together. I'm trying to rub everything together with the fish, and I'll set it aside. While I already have my pan filled with vegetable oil, I've already used this oil like some weeks ago. I used this oil to fry some chicken, and I'm going to be reusing it all over again. You don't waste oil anymore. Everything is just so expensive. You have to use what you have. One thing I do whenever I'm frying fish is to allow it to sit in the oil without disturbing it. By doing so, the fish is going to come out well and it's not going to break into pieces. Once the other side of the fish is already golden brown, I'm going to flip it over and fry the other side. And once everything has turned golden brown like this, I'm going to take it out of the oil. Now the fish is fried. I'm going to set it aside, and it's time for me to check on the boiling pepper. I open the pot and the pepper has already been boiling. I'm going to just stir everything together to make sure it is boiling and it's not burning. Right now, I'll take it off the heat and it's time for me to start frying my peppers. This is what I'm going to be using in frying my peppers today. I actually just got this pan. It is wide and it is locally made. It's an iron pan. It is known to be cocoa bearing in Dinta. And I got this for 5,000 naira and it's quite cheap. And I just hope it lasts, and it should last because pots like this or pan like this actually last a longer time. To that, I'm going to add some used vegetable oil. This was vegetable oil before I used it to fry the chicken. So now it is chicken oil, right? Let that heat up a bit before going in with some chopped onions. I'll fry this for about 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, it should look like this. Right now, I will start to add in the boiled peppers. If you are still watching and you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button and also turn on the bell notification so as to get notified each time I upload a new video. Also click on that like button. It really helps me out a lot. Thank you. I added enough peppers to the pan and I'm just going to stir everything together and allow this to fry for at least the first 10 minutes. While the pepper is frying, I measured some beans. This is honey beans, also known as oloyin beans. I'm just trying to check if there are any dirt in it, like stone, like particles, to just remove it before washing the beans. After washing the beans, I will add it into a pot, add water to it, cover this and bring it to a boil for at least 10 to 15 minutes. Then I'm going to drain it out again, wash it all over again like this, and really introduce it back into the pot. Add some salt, and I also added some chopped onions. Cover it and allow it to start cooking. All this process of washing the beans will enable the beans to release out some of the gas. You don't want to have a heartburn after eating the beans. You don't want to feel unease. You have to go through all this process. While that is cooking, I check on the pepper. I'll stir everything together and it's time for me to season the stew. I'll be seasoning this lightly. I'll be adding a tablespoon of salt, and I also added a tablespoon of all-purpose seasoning. And right now I will add in some crayfish seasoning. Combine everything together and allow it to fry more for another 5 minutes. And 5 minutes later, the stew is already cooked. The oil has started to flow to the top of the stew. I'm going to stir everything together now, and it's time for me to really introduce the fish back into the stew. And once all that is done, I'll stir to combine, leave it to marinate for another 3 to 5 minutes. And 5 minutes later, I came back to check on it and it was all good. This was so good and it smells so amazing. Right now, I'll take this off the heat and set it aside. I check on the beans and it was already cooked. You all know I love my beans to be well cooked and soft. Right now, I will take this off the heat and it's time for me to combine everything together. In a pot, I will add in some soya beans oil. Allow this to heat up for a bit before going in with some chopped onions. I'm going to saute this for about a minute or two. Then I'll season with some salt and some chicken stock powder. Fry this for about another minute and add in the washed rice. I'll fry the rice for about 3 to 5 minutes before I will go in with the cooked beans. I'll stir everything to combine everything together. I also added in some extra onions. You need to cook your rice and beans with a lot of onions. It will also give it a lot of flavors. I also added half teaspoon of thyme. You know I love thyme a lot, and I will combine everything together. Add enough water to cook this, cover and allow it to start cooking. After 10 to 12 minutes, I checked back on the rice and it has started to dry up. I tasted and it's still hard, so I decided to add a little bit of water to it. Feel free to add as much water as you want. If you want it to be mushy, you can add more water, but I don't want mushy rice. Cover it again for another 3 to 5 minutes. And 5 minutes later, I came back and it was all cooked. This time it has cooked to be like 95% cooked and it's okay for me. So I take it off the heat and all that is left was to serve this and enjoy it. This is what dinner was looking like for us and it was so enjoyable. I would love to see your recreation. If you are going to recreate this, tag me on social media, tag me on Instagram, on Facebook. Thank you all so much for watching. See you again in my next one. Bye.